So Daredevil Born Again Season 2 just released its final episode a couple days ago, and yeah, as a lot of people are saying all over Twitter, it's fucking terrible. It pains me to say this, as I used to love Daredevil. I loved the Netflix series, all 3 seasons, even the weakest season being the second, but at least that still has a lot of great moments. That season still felt special, and it's better than a lot of everything Born Again does. I mean, I kind of expected Born Again Season 2 to be trash anyways, especially with how bad the first season was. Nothing in the trailers was going to convince me that somehow Season 2 is going to be a legendary masterpiece, and I'm glad I went in with low expectations, because yeah, it's bad. I mean, what do I even need to say? I feel like nothing happened much this season, and it just felt like a complete waste, especially with the marketing push they were doing in the trailers with hyping up some cool ass cameos and characters that were going to be in this season, especially when Daredevil said in the ending of Born Again Season 1, we need an army, but it just ends up being some characters we saw in the Netflix show, some police officers that aren't corrupted by Fisk, Jessica Jones, Bullseye I guess, and Karen Page, which felt very empty. Ideally, with what was happening in the finale, I expected to see so many vigilantes, especially like the finale too, because it's like a whole war with New York going upside down, and you're telling me that I don't fucking know like where Spider-Man, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, Punisher, Luke Cage, and some other characters are just nowhere to be seen. Like, huh? I will say, to give this season some slight, ever so slight credit, the cinematography is ever so slightly better. There is shots that do look good, especially with Foggy's return in one of the episodes that made the quality look similar to the Netflix show to an extent. Still not as good as the Netflix show. And there is some comic shots that do look good regardless of the writing being fucking terrible. At least, I mean, it's got some cool hype and aura scenes, I guess. I mean, that's literally what the show's become. It's just fucking hype and aura. The action scenes are also better than the fight scenes in Season 1, but it does not reach a level like the Netflix show did, as they're nowhere near as well choreographed. I do also gotta say that even though it's just the same as Season 1's, but different color, like the suit is genuinely pretty good. Besides that, like it's the same color and it's just like painted black and the Daredevil logo being red. Besides that, it is pretty good. I do like the style they went with, and I do like how paint like kind of wore off and it started turning red again. That was a nice like idea to add to this season, but even then it didn't really mean much. It doesn't really change its character at all. I mean, especially like there's like nothing else I could literally find appealing about this season. I mean, especially with how badly they destroyed everyone's character. Like Karen Page doesn't even feel like a character in this season, and is literally just there for Matt to have someone to talk to and to like work with, I guess, during this whole like vigilante outbreak, and like how they're all trapped, pretty much most of the vigilantes at least. To elaborate on that, their relationship just sucks too. It has nowhere near as much intimacy compared to the Netflix show did. It just sucks, if I'm being honest. They've just made Karen like a big fighting girl this season, and that's it. Which honestly kind of just doesn't work because of how good Karen was in the Netflix show. They've just completely ruined her character. It's just like, oh, look, I'm this big girl that can fight. Okay, can you actually give me some cool character moments between her and Matt, or just her in general? Like, there's nothing else that there is for her. She's just an empty character that's just there, really. And I did hear there was like a lot of cutscenes for characters such as Jessica Jones, and that episode 7 it was going to end with her saving Matt and not Daniel dying. To add on to this, the side characters genuinely just sucks. Like, there is no fucking side character in this show I genuinely like. There is none of them. Characters such as White Tiger, she is barely in this season. The Swordsman just fucking leaves for some reason. Heather has this pathetic character arc where she's taking the mask of Muse. Vanessa is just there for Fisk to suffer as she dies. Bullseye doesn't do much, to be honest, and like Bullseye's just another character that's just there to like hype people up, and he's like, oh wow, he's so cool. I'm glazing him because he's so cool, because he's using all his crazy tricks and throwing objects across the room and killing all these people, which is pretty cool, but yes. But like, come on, man, he just does not even do much at all. I mean, what was the point of even hyping up characters like Charles in them trailers too, if he barely is in it as well? Charles is the guy who's played by Matthew Lillard. One thing I will say too is the acting is pretty decent this season. I'll say is like the acting. It does feel like the actors are trying this season, even though like there is some actors. I will get into this like a little later on. But like there is some actors that just don't want to be there. But back to what I was saying, add to the fact we have the dumbass Punisher glazes too, and they're just roaming the streets. I still don't understand why Punisher isn't even in this season too, as it would have been a good character arc that they're souring his name by hurting innocent people, when that's not what Punisher does. It just pains me too, the fact how Punisher somehow lost to these people in season 1. Cool, cause he was just being a dumbass. And it doesn't even make much sense too, because the fact he just escapes in the ending as well. Somehow the person who has a somewhat okay character arc this season is Daniel, because of how he just becomes more aware of what Fisk does is wrong, but it's really horribly executed because of how he literally does nothing in season 1 besides glaze Fisk, and now he has a change of heart to help BB Urich escape, and then just dies. Like, he just fucking dies shortly after by Buck, which he sucks too, by the way. It's just so many missed opportunities after so many missed opportunities. I'm aware why Spider-Man wasn't in this because of Sony's restrictions, and it's still an issue, but I can't really blame them for that, so I'll like let that off sort of. Even then, I've seen some of the actors for this show, like I said, was saying earlier, especially Charlie Cox and Vincent, and they just look pretty like zoned out, and they just don't want to be there in interviews or when they're recording a TikTok for the next episode to drop. I'm pretty sure Charlie Cox doesn't even really like the show that much either, because he even said in an interview that a lot of stuff he did, such as train with the dummy, and he said he did that a lot, and it was also something else, didn't even make it into the show, and he said he was quite annoyed with that. And I feel like some of the actors do know the show is bad, but they're obviously not going to admit it in that sense. The finale is actually horrendous too, like genuinely. Fisk literally kills so many people, yet he doesn't go to prison, but Matt does for some reason, for saving good guys. I understand the agreement between them, but it doesn't make sense at all, to be honest. Especially how Matt didn't kill anyone, but Fisk literally did kill so many people. And for some reason Matt gets accused of murder and now he's in prison. Like, huh? It genuinely just felt so off too, just seeing so much stuff happening and none of the other vigilantes come to help either. I still can't get over that. And the fact Luke Cage appears in the finale too just made me like laugh, because it's the fact, where's this guy been this entire time? Like, what? And what's annoying too is I didn't even think the start of the ending was that bad. I actually thought the lawyer stuff was pretty cool, especially when he reveals his identity and he throws his stick across the room. I thought that was actually pretty fire. But then after that, they just drop the quality completely and do some random bullshit, go. And boom, Matt's in prison and Fisk is no longer mayor. And the next season actually could be decent because Matt's identity is exposed now. But at the same time, this show has just been doomed from the start, so I really do not care much anymore. I mean, the only reason I kind of watched this season is because it might lead into Brand New Day, which I fucking hope it does, because Spider-Man fights the Hand in the prison, so I'm hoping that it is, but in the end of the day, I don't even know. I just hope that's the case. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Daredevil Born Again Season 2 a 3 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.